Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very good. We're here with Owen Fitzpatrick, and he's an Irish amazing master trainer, and he was the youngest of them all.
Master trainer of NLP, yeah, the youngest.
Very good.
When I was 23. So 23 is only last year. Obviously, as you can tell, I look like I'm 24, right?
Of course you do. So he's here in Brazil doing a course training, and of course I'm here attending. And I asked him to talk about creativity and what is really a creative person and how can we demonstrate our ways of being creative.
Well, I think it's a great question, and I think one of the biggest mistakes that people make is that they tend to think that they're not creative. And so the first step to me to becoming more creative is to realize your mindset is the biggest thing that can get in your way. Now, there's a great researcher called Carol Dweck who wrote a book called Mindset, where she talked about the difference between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. Now, a fixed mindset is when you think, this is who I am, this is how I will be, and I will always be like this. A growth mindset is when you believe that you can improve or you can change. And so the problem is, many people have a fixed mindset about creativity. They think to themselves, well, I'm not creative. I'm not an artist. I'm not a dramatist. I'm not a writer. I'm not an author. I'm not a creative person. But the truth is that no one's a creative person unless they're creating. And so the most important thing, first of all, is that you recognize that you have a lot of creative potential. If you've got an imagination, you can be creative. The first thing that stops you is the belief that you're not. Once you overcome that belief, then the next thing is to learn strategies to use more of your imagination. And so the best way to do that is to start to explore different ideas to the ones that you believe in. So start to listen and consume news programs and shows about topics that you know nothing about. Topics about things that you don't believe in or that you're not convinced about. Read anything that can stimulate a new way of thinking. Because the more you let yourself imagine, the more you let yourself expose yourself to totally new ways of thinking or ways of believing, the more it helps you to start to think in a more creative way, use your imagination more, to the point where you're much more effective at being able to come up with new ideas.
Wow, wonderful. And just one more question.
Sure.
Owen, how do you know you are being creative?
I think you know when you're not being creative, therefore you know when you're being creative. If you're not being creative, you feel stifled, you feel stuck, you feel like you're just repeating what you've heard, you feel like you're doing the same thing as everybody else. But if you ask yourself the question, what if we do things differently? What else could we do? The what if question, the what else question, both of those are really useful questions. And the way that you know you're creative is because you're asking those questions and you're pushing yourself to think differently than what you've heard before. So if you hear things coming out of your mouth that you haven't heard other people say or haven't heard other people describe, then you know you're being at least more creative than you were. But again, baby steps. Start by recognizing that you can be more creative, and then ask what if questions, ask what else questions, what else can we do besides this? Maybe even go walk a different route home. Push yourself to have more different experiences. The greatest piece of advice that I ever got from Dr. Richard Bandler, the co-creator of NLP, was do as many different things in as many different places with as many different people as you can. And that's what pushed me to visit more than 100 countries. It pushed me to meet gurus and shaman. It pushed me to do all of the amazing things that I'm so lucky to have done, because I was looking for what's different. And the more you do that, the more you can start to recognize when you're being creative versus when you're not.
Can you please tell people where they can find you?
Of course. If you like, you can follow me on Instagram. I'm Owen, Owen, F23. Please follow me there. And also I've got a podcast called Changing Minds. So please subscribe to it. I talk about a lot of different topics, including some aspects of creativity. So I'm sure you'll find something useful in.
Do you have YouTube channel?
I also have a YouTube channel as well. If you type my name into YouTube. And I've also got a TEDx talk which is more than 1 million views as well. So
Alright.
if you want to waste some time watching me on YouTube, I'm sure you'll learn some useful ideas as well there.
Wonderful. So thank you very much.
My pleasure. Thank you very much for inviting me. And best of luck to all of you wonderfully creative people out there. Keep working on it. I promise you'll be able to use your imagination even better.